It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from the Netherlands and it's been sent by the wonderful, wonderful guys. They've written me some wonderful notes on each and every individual beer that they decided to send. And boom, cheers, Stone the Crows is at the end of the introductory letter, and it's from Jelmer, Mez, Kaz, Saib and Des. Now, my pronunciation of these people is probably rubbish, and I do apologise. One of the guys actually came on one of my live streams where I run a Stone Crow virtual pub on a Thursday night. 7 o'clock live in the UK if you're interested. You get to talk to me and have a beer, and I have a beer too. We have some fun. But one of them come on and tried to explain the pronunciation of his name, and I was like, right, that's it. And it was like really simple. And I woke up the next day after a few beers, and could I remember the man's name? Not a blooming jolly, not a jolly. Just, my brain is like a bag of dust. Something goes in, it goes straight out there. It takes me so long to memorise stuff these days. But anyway, this is a bottle of Wite Van Wanssum Schelm Of Schurk Premium WitBier. It's 6% ABV. I do like a WitBier. So WitBier, white beer, wheat beer, they're all in the same family of beers. They're all very pale. Wit meaning white beer. They're all very pale. They're all kind of using straw-coloured malts. And some of the wit beers are spicy and peppery and lovely. There's a black bottle cap on this one. We'll read the description in the letter in a moment, but I want to get the beer out first and foremost. Into a glass and see what we get. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Here we go. So we got a one finger white head, good levels of carbonation rolling up the glass. It's a amber. Yeah, I mean, wit beer. I've got to be honest with myself, haven't I? Of course, we're always honest on the channel. That's what I'm trying to say. And people tune into this channel because they want clarity, they want honesty, they want proper information on beer. And the first question I'm going to ask myself is this a wit beer, a white beer? And I'm going to say no. On this occasion, no. It's too dark for a wit beer. It needs to be a lot lighter than this. They've used darker malts here, which doesn't usually represent white. It should be almost looking like a lager in terms of the colour of the beer. A light lager. Obviously they're not using lager malt. They're using very light ale malts, but still, they should be using light ale malts, not something as dark as this. Good levels of carbonation on the beer though. Let's get the aroma. Ooh, and this one, this one I'm picking up a little bit of diacetyl as well. Wow, that's a really rare aroma now in a beer. First of all, let me explain diacetyl. Diacetyl. So it's an off flavour in the beer. It is a flavour of like a really kind of weird toffee-ish butterscotch. That's the word. It's a butterscotch aroma. Now, there are breweries out there that purposely stop their brews early in the fermenting, when the beers are fermenting. They stop the fermentation process early, and they purposely then have that diacetyl, that butterscotch flavour in their beer. And I know breweries, there was a famous one in Yorkshire that, only a little microbrewery, but every one of their beers had this butterscotch flavours. But the locals loved it. The locals absolutely loved it. They were buying it by the bucket load. It's actually an off flavour. When you rush a beer, say a beer wants, I don't know, just over a week, maybe 2 weeks to ferment out fully. If you rush that process and you stop it, say, after 5 days, then the yeast hasn't finished doing its job. And you're likely to get diacetyl in your beer. It's just an off flavour. It's an infection. The beer is actually infected, but it gives off a butterscotch aroma and taste. It's definitely not for me. I really don't like butterscotch aromas, but it's very rare these days for a brewery to... We went through that stage, we went through that kind of, when all the breweries boomed, and it was like 2012, 2013, there was breweries opening left, right and centre all over the world, if you like. And of course, because they were new breweries, they were learning the process, they were learning their kit, there was a lot more diacetyl in the beer, say 10 years ago. Because these brewers were young, they were fresh, they were new, they were learning their kind of equipment, they were learning their processes, and they were learning to become professional brewers, if you like. So often you would get this kind of diacetyl, this infection in the beer. So it's very rare then, unless these are a new brewery. It might be the fact that it's a new brewery and they're still learning their kit, but it's very rare to get diacetyl this day and age. Wow, and that reeks of it. Wow, that is absolutely full on diacetyl. Like, it reeks of diacetyl, it reeks of butterscotch. It's a dominant flavour. It's trying to be a white beer. It's trying to be a WitBier. It's trying to be peppery and spicy and dry. I can taste it in the background. But it's just way too butterscotchy to work. Way too butterscotchy to work. I'm sorry to the guys. I mean, they sent the beer from the Netherlands. Of course, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, if I would like every single beer that was sent to me. But it's impossible to like every beer that's sent to you. You're going to get one, maybe two in a box that gets sent that they're either not up to scratch or they're just not for you. And I'm looking at you, ice cream beer. I'm looking at you, ice cream beer. Don't get me wrong. There's probably an awful lot of people out there that would probably like this beer. They would like the fact that it's infected and it tastes of butterscotch. They won't know it's infected. They'll just go, ooh, it tastes of butterscotch. And it's a bit bitter on the back end and it's kind of nice. But that's because they don't know. That's simply because they don't know that the beer is infected. Let's find it then. Let's find it. Brouwers Van Wanssum, here we are. Another local brewery located in the village of Wanssum, Limburg. One of us actually lives in Wanssum, so you better like this one, Martin. Oh my goodness me. So it's unfortunate then that I actually don't like this one, but I've explained why I don't like this one. It is infected. It's not for me. Maybe they can get things right next time they brew this one, but for me, I won't be drinking this one, I'm afraid. This is a bit of a sink pour for me. Sorry guys, infected beer. No, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Thank you though for sending. Thank you everybody for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.